Welcome to lesson number 4 in Learn How to Code with Python. In this lesson I will show you how you can read in a file and how you can write to a file. That's a very useful thing to do because it allows you to take large pieces of text from somewhere or even numbers and to process them and then to write them out to somewhere else. It's a very common practice. In the process, I will also introduce the concept of variables and storing data temporarily in it. So let's dive in and let's have fun. So I'm opening idle again to show you, and before we go in there, I'll show you that I have just copied some lorem ipsum text, some old Latin text that is usually used to fill up some layouts of websites that are being designed. So here's the text, as you can see in this document, lorem ipsum.txt on my desktop. So how can we read in this file? Well, in Python that's fairly easy. We use the open command and then we type in the location of the file that we want as a string. So in this case it's on the desktop and it's called lorem ipsum.txt. Close off the quotes and the brackets, and then if we press enter, let's see what returns. Well, as you can see, it returns not the text that's in the file, it returns what's called an object or a representation of an object, and it says that it says the name of the file, desktop / lorem ipsum.txt. The mode, it's in read mode, and the encoding of the file is UTF-8. So if you want to see the text that's in it, you simply use the .read method on the object, and then it will print out all the text to the screen, as you can see. So let's say we only want to have the first line. That's also possible because it's quite a lot of text. So if you only want to have the first line, you can use the readLine method, and this will return only the first line of the document. So there we have it. So if we want to do something with this, it's usually a good idea to use a variable and to store the text in it. So what's a variable? A variable is just a location in memory of your computer where you can store stuff, text, numbers, and other things. So a variable can be anything like variable and is, and then something you want to put into it. So I want to put in here hello. So what this does, it puts the string hello in a location in memory, and I can call this location by calling the variable that I called variable. So if I type now variable, then it returns the string that I've just put in it. Variables can have variable names can be strings, lower cases, and I believe not anything else. So no @ symbols, no hashes, no exclamation marks or no question marks. So their question mark is, let's say, 1. That gives a syntax error because that's not allowed. But I can have variable 1 is 1, like so. And I can also have var 1, like so, is 1. And then I can call it var 1. Okay. So those are variables. Variables are places in memory of your computer, or references to places in your in the memory of your computer where you can store strings of text, numbers, other stuff that we'll get to later. So let's put in the first line of the document into this variable, or into a variable. Let's call it var2 is open. Let's do it. I don't like to type too much, so let's take it from memory. var2 is open read line. There you go. So now the first line of the text in the document has been stored into memory, into a location that I can reach by asking for it, typing var2. There you go. So now we've taken the text from the document, and now we can start transforming the text or splitting the text. Let's say we want to split on commas, like we've done in the lesson number 2, I believe it was. Then we will just do the variable 2 and we'll split it on comma, enter, and then you see you get back what we call a list with all the pieces of text that could be separated by commas. So if we want to write, what we've done so far is reading from a file, but it's also very useful to write to a file. So let's say we want to write the var2, so the first line of the document. We want to write this to a new document. To do this, we have to open a new document, and the document that we've read in, that was opened in read mode. So let's go back to that. So if we just open the document, it says here the mode here is R, that's for reading. So there are different modes for opening documents. You can open it as we've done here with no indication of how we want to open it. Then Python just opens the document in read mode. But we can also open a document in Append mode. That means that we can add stuff to the document, and we can also open it simply in writing mode. And we can then, if the document exists, then it will be emptied and everything will be added to it anew, and then written out. So let's open a new document in write mode, and let's save that the object that we open into a variable so we can reach it. So let's say document is open, and then we'll put it on desktop again, desktop dash new.txt, and then here in single quotes we will use W for writing. So this will instantiate a new document object that we can reach by the document variable. So what can we do here? If we call it document, then we get here a representation of the document. It's in read mode and the encoding is UTF-8. And the document has also been created here on the file system, and it's empty, as you can see. So now we can write to it. So how do we write the text that's in var2 to this document? Well, that is simply done by writing it to the document like so. Document, that's the object that we have, dot write, and then what we want to write to it, var2. So this tells Python, the interpreter, to take everything that's in the variable 2 and write it to the document. Okay, so now it's written 869 characters, is that so? Or is this the location? Not sure what this is actually. Anyway, it's written to the document, but now we have to close the document to have it saved, and that's done like so. We do document. First let's see the text document. It's still empty, as you can see, because it's not written to it yet. It's only in memory. It's in the document object here. So now if we close it, enter. Now, as you can see, oh, it's bytes. So the 869 here that it returns if you do document.write, that's bytes. You can see here it says bytes. So 869 bytes have been written to the text document. So let's check. Yes, there it is. Our first line from the lorem ipsum document has been written to the new text document. Num eget dwi, num eget dwi. Okay. So this is how you read text from a document, and then you can do something with it. Just take the first line. You can do something more with it. You can split it. You can transform it any way you want, and then write it back to another document. So that's how this is done. It's a very useful thing to know. I'll leave it at this. This is still part of the basics, and in the next lesson we will have a closer look at the different data types that are not only related to text and numbers, integers and floats, but there are other data types that you have already seen a little bit, like lists, that I will explain in more detail. And after that we can really get going and start doing some more interesting things. So I hope you found this useful and interesting still, and let me know by giving a thumbs up and leaving some comments in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.